bank that is within the city in London in particular, then of course you believe you're dealing with people of substance.
Would you have sold Notts County without something like this?
No. Without a guarantee, there is no way I could have gone back to the football club and recommend any deal was done.
So that's crucial?
Absolutely crucial.
In fact, the guarantee, which Russell King denies handling, was worthless. Never approved by the bank's board, it came from a part of the bank that no longer existed. But it was enough to fool the Football League.
We were sent a legal affidavit on behalf of the club indicating that the money was there. And when you're given a legal affidavit, there's no reason not to believe it.
The league had also been reassured by the Notts County chairman, Peter Trembling.
I don't want to do this interview anymore. I think you've... Why?
The man who walked out twice when I'd asked him about the owners.
So can you delete that?
1 year on, Trembling's finally happy to sit down and talk, saying he too had been conned. For the first time, he admits Russell King was his boss. It was Trembling who came up with the name Lord Voldemort.
He didn't publicly want to be known, but he was clearly involved, and so this nickname, Lord Voldemort, which he enjoyed. He's in the background pulling the strings, and I don't think anybody at the football club was in doubt that he was the man who was in control.
Peter Trembling says King tricked him when he introduced him to this man, Abid Hayat Khan. Khan was supposed to be a wealthy investor, and he met supporters negotiating to sell the club.
Russell King was present, and a person we were introduced to as the Prince, Abid Hayat Khan.
He was introduced as the Prince?
As the Prince. We were told he was a member of the royal family.
To be a prince, you have to have a kingdom and a principality, but no, never heard of him, and he doesn't represent any royalty in the region.
Khan denies posing as a prince, but Panoramas discovered he is a man with a reputation, a bad one. He's on the run from the British police for allegedly stealing almost £1 million.
Even now, I'm not sure what he is or what he does or whether he's got royal connections or not. I don't know.
He's on the run from the police.
Is he?
Yeah. He's
in Bahrain?
In the UK, he's last seen in Bahrain for he's on the run from the police in the UK for £1 million fraud.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
The fake sheikh also fooled the Football League. Without checking, they approved the wanted fraudster as a fit and proper person to own Notts County.
The league was either gullible, or it was impotent, or it was both.
Well, that's your judgment. What the league did was rigorously applied the rules and regulations that existed at the time.
But the rules were certainly insufficient.
Well, that's the benefit of hindsight.
The league says it's now tightened up the rules that allowed the county deal. Russell King denies it all. But our investigation shows he was controlling Notts County and almost half a London bank. He was also claiming connections with Arab royalty. He was now set for the biggest fraud of all, the $1 trillion con. It involves sending the former England football manager to the far end of the axis of evil, North Korea.
At that time, I'd been in the club for a month, and I liked the players, I liked the staff, I liked the people working there. So I thought, okay, if this will help the club, I'm going. They used my name, of course they did, but at the end it became a big, big mistake.
Somehow, Russell King had made contact with the world's most secretive regime. And he used Sven-Göran Eriksson to further impress them. In Pyongyang, Sven was taken to banquets with the North Korean leadership.
I was in the palace there, and they were handing over to the North Korean government so-called shares. I asked them how much that was and what was that, because at the same time we couldn't pay the milk bill at Notts County. And what they told me was not million, it was billion of dollars.
Russell King clearly had influence with the Koreans.
They handed him, I gather, North Korean diplomatic passports. They gave him a high-level meeting with the titular president. I mean, that's, for that to have been done for someone as a con man, very bad news for the North Koreans.
Once again, the bait was Bahraini money. King promised the Koreans $1 billion. In return, they gave the right to exploit all North Korea's gold, iron and coal to yet another company controlled by Russell King, Swiss Commodity Holding.
Swiss Commodity Holding was only set up in 2009, but within months it was claiming to have assets of nearly $2 trillion. If you believed it, it was suddenly the biggest mining company in the world.
North Korea does have valuable minerals, but it's a pariah state. Getting anything out of the ground would be risky and expensive. What gave the deal credibility was the backing of First London, and the bank had an impressive management team. The advisory board included Britain's former spy master, once responsible for MI5 and MI6, Sir John Walker. Sir John doesn't give interviews on television, so we've used an actor to speak his words.
What did I think of Russell King? Not a lot. He was good at chat, but that was his business. He was a con man.
The bank sent Sir John to meet Russell King and his associates to check out the North Korea deal. The former spy master regrets he was taken in.
I was taken the same way Sven was taken. They just wanted names.
Russell King says he was no more than a consultant for Swiss Commodity Holding.
I have never been a shareholder, director, trustee or beneficiary.
Yet again, only true to a point. Our evidence is King was calling the shots. Russell King's fraud now stretched from Nottingham right around the world. But it was all based on the false promise of Bahraini money. And when the cash failed to arrive, the trillion-dollar con started to unravel. For Russell King, the game was up. He disappeared. Those left behind realized they'd been conned.
I feel gullible, I feel stupid. I wanted to believe what he told me, which is about, everybody's going to be rich out of this, everybody's going to make a lot of money. Yes, you have doubts and instinctively you think this is too good to be true, and then you see the faces of credibility that are attached to the project and you think, well, yeah, actually this is okay, this is how it should be and this will work out.
But it didn't work out. The bank, First London plc, has gone into administration with debts of £8 million. The parent company, First London Group plc, is still in business. It says it suffered significant financial damage from Russell King and is trying to clear up the mess. So how did a convicted fraudster with no money ever get his hands on a bank? The Financial Services Authority says it was never told about the deal. When it did find out and started taking action, it was too late. But what about the people paid to supervise First London? The non-executive directors, like the MP, Tim Yeo. He says he raised concerns before he resigned.
I am satisfied I perform my duties in an absolutely exemplary manner.
Notts County was also left on the verge of administration.
They should just have told us that the money will not come and we have to leave and whatever. Instead they didn't. They just left everything without saying hello to players, to people. Very, very bad.
Even after Sven wrote off the millions he was promised, County were left $7 million in the red. The new chairman has discovered unusual payments totalling almost £200,000. Many go to Bahrain.
And who's commandeering these payments? Who's asking for this money?
I'm told by the staff that made the payments, Russell King.
So he's getting money transferred to Bahrain?
He is, and I think it's more than a coincidence he lives there.
We've been investigating the sums. Most go to King's associates. There are 2 to the fake sheikh, Abid Hayat Khan. Another 2 to Khan's girlfriend. An additional $90,000 went on 5-star hotels and food. King and his associates were living in luxury apartments here at the Sale Tower, and Notts County were paying some of the bills. After the money ran out, King moved from the Sale Tower. But we finally found him. He's living in another apartment nearby.
Could I have a look around?
King is in hiding here at the Elite Seif residence.
Hopeless. It's impossible to see anything in there.
He rarely leaves the building.
Are we off then?
Yeah, that's it.
We wait another 2 days, and he still doesn't appear. So in the end, there's only one way to get a glimpse of the elusive Russell King.
Hello, Mr. King. It's Peter Marshall from BBC TV from Panorama. Can I ask you what you're saying about the people you've conned in the UK in various business deals? Mr. King, you've let a lot of people down. A lot of people have lost money trusting you, Mr. King. Mr. King, have you no response at all?
Russell King won't talk to Panorama, but he may soon have to answer questions. The Serious Fraud Office have told us they're now looking into the $1 trillion con.
If I had knew at that time what I know today, of course I would never have signed. I still feel sorry for all the fans, the players, all the people working in the club.
I think they were dodgy from the off, to be honest with you.
They robbed us, didn't they, at the end of the day, and they lied, cheated, and we were really sickened by it.
And clears away downfield where Pearce wins a struggle. So how did one man con so many? The fans, the bankers, even a spy master. It was the oldest trick in the game. People believed in the promise of riches, when in reality,